Hey everybody, welcome back to Cookie Gaming. Today we are playing more Pentiment. Last time we actually managed to wrap up our investigation to a satisfactory degree, I would say. Didn't manage to explore everything, but a good amount. We've got a good deal of evidence which we're going to need because today we are talking to the Archdeacon. If you guys end up enjoying this one, I'd appreciate it if you'd leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. So, let's go. We are ready to go and talk to the Archdeacon. We've done our final rounds around the Abbey, around the town, found out some last information. Let's do it. Everything's coming to a head now. Oh my. I'm a little nervous, folks. Please state your name for our records. That's funny. Why would I lie? That seems like a bad idea. Andreas Mahler, journeyman artist from Nuremberg. What is an artist doing in Kearsaw Abbey? My goodness. I ask myself that sometimes, haha. No, let's not go for a light tone here. This feels like a pretty serious interaction. The Abbey still has some commissions from wealthy patrons, and I need the money before I return to Nuremberg. Arnold, please write that down. I think we're ready to begin. Of course, your reverence. Oh my goodness. We've got the Archdeacon here, surrounded by his armed men, his assistant or scribe or whatever. Oh. Now then, Master Mahler, what was your relation to Lorenz, the Baron Rothvogel? I only knew him for a day, but we were on friendly terms. Did you feel you had a sense of him as a person? Yes. How would you characterize him? Oh my. Oh, okay. I would not say he was a fine man. Now, the second part of that's true. He was a lover of art and knowledge, but that does not make you a good guy, and he was not a good guy. Should we go for the sort of centrist option? Because I don't love to say that either. Well, that is true. I'm gonna say used to getting what he wants. Do you think someone would kill him for that? Not for that. Someone had to have a reason. If not that, something else. Otherwise, it makes my presence here somewhat difficult to explain. Baron Rothvogel was murdered here in this very room. Someone did it. Father Gernot believes it was one of his monks, Brother Piero. I've met with Brother Piero and questioned him at length. While it seems unlikely that a man of his age and temperament could murder the Baron, he was discovered in flagrante delicto. Corpus delicti, body of the crime, sometimes literal, often figurative, the principle that must be proven to establish a crime has occurred. Yeah, well, technically, he discovered the corpus delicti, but was not caught in flagrante delicto. Master Mahler, I'm not interested in your clarifications, technical or otherwise, on matters of Latin or law. If you wish to advocate on behalf of Brother Piero, I suggest shutting your mouth until I ask you a question. Okay. Piero had reasons to resent the Baron. The loss of his work, the insistence on discussing the writings of the troublemaker from Wittenberg. And as for his age and infirmity, I myself have read of many cases in which a man of modest strength succumbs to the temptations of the devil. Once seized by a devilish fever, the poor sinner gains an infernal power that allows him to inflict grievous wounds, sometimes fatal. You are a fucking idiot. What I'm saying is that in spite of the curious circumstances, Brother Piero is the most plausible perpetrator of this most vile act. I understand you're on friendly terms with Brother Piero. You also interacted with the Baron both in the town and the Abbey. Did you witness anything that suggests someone else could have murdered Baron Rothvogel? Great. We now have, opportunity to throw somebody under the bus. Well, I've said I won't talk about Matilda. I might, but we'll hold off. In my opinion, Ferenc is the most suspicious of the group. But Lucky as well. Martin, but we haven't seen Martin since he ran past us, so it's sort of hard to put the blame on him. The Abbey's prior, Ferenc, was behaving suspiciously on the day of the Baron's arrival. He may have had a motive. That's an extraordinary claim, Andreas. The abbot speaks highly of the prior, and he oversees both your and Brother Piero's work, does he not? Yes, your reverence. An extraordinary claim requires extraordinary evidence for me to take it seriously. Why should I take the word of an artist over a respected officer of this abbey? I can provide evidence of Prior Ferenc's motive. Please do so. Yeah, I mean, this is not that convincing. This, however... Look, does it prove that Ferenc murdered Rothvogel? No, it doesn't, but there's a couple pieces of information, and there was definitely something suspicious going on between those two. Baron Rothvogel and Prior Ferenc were exchanging letters about performing a magical ritual during the Baron's visit. You have proof of this? Yeah, better than an imprint. I have a letter the Prior wrote to the Baron. Oh, right, I got an achievement called Hot Goss. In it, the Prior mentions that he will not perform a ritual for the Baron, even if the Baron does follow through on a threat to implicate him to inquisitors in Innsbruck. An implication of necromancy is a serious matter. The Prior's position would have been in peril, possibly even his life. In peril enough for him to strike out and kill the Baron? Perhaps. And how do you believe Prior Ferenc would have killed the Baron? I pray you will not say it was a magical ritual. Well, not quite a magical ritual, but I found a silver rod that belongs to Prior Ferenc that has dried blood on it. A silver rod? Likely a magical tool of some sort, but it is of a size and weight appropriate for the head wound that the Baron received. Wow, okay, I've really ratted out Ferenc, but I knew that this was coming. I made my choice. I decided, am I certain about any of these suspects? No, but in my opinion, Ferenc was the most suspicious. How did you come to possess this item? Interesting. Should we try and lie, essentially? I'm not so sure this is gonna work. In truth, it involved a little grave digging. Master Mahler, while it is not my place nor my task to hold you liable for what you've done, I will be informing Father Gernot. Is there anything else to say about the Prior? No, your reverence? Very well. Who else may have wanted to see the Baron dead? Well, Lucky Steinauer argued with the Baron. Who is Lucky Steinauer? I don't believe his name has come up during our questioning. The town stonemason. Alright, so what's the connection between the town stonemason and a nobleman from Worms? I and at least 3 farmers in the village saw Lucky arguing with the Baron when he came to town. About what? I don't know, but the argument was heated. Eddie and Veronica Bowron visited it. We know her. You mentioned a third witness? Yes, Martin Bauer. Unfortunately. Yes, the boy fled. Still, we will question the women about what they saw. And how do you propose that this stonemason killed the Baron? In spite of his age, Lucky is incredibly strong. Have you been by the town church, your reverence? Yes, I passed it on the way to the abbey. Why? I saw Lucky lift one of the largest stones in the cemetery wall, by himself. From what I remember, the stones are quite large, but being strong alone does not mean that he murdered the Baron. I also witnessed him killing a fish by slamming their heads against a rock. I mean, I don't know how convincing of evidence that is. The Baron was killed by a blow to the back of the head. Perhaps Lucky simply slammed him into something, anything to cause the wounds. An interesting theory, Master Mahler. Is there anyone else you can think of who may have wanted to harm the Baron? I'll throw Martin under the bus, why not? Yes, his name has come up in my inquiries. My understanding is that he absconded with some of the Baron's valuables. Arnold? Yes, your reverence. A silver ring, a gold ring, 12 golden, 10 groschen, and a book intended as a gift for the abbey. Thank you. It is my understanding that this boy was known as a thief, but also as a coward. And that the theft was from the abbey's guest house after the Baron had already left it. Very well, your reverence. I'm not treating as a, I don't want to push too much, because this guy, he's quite imperious, obviously. So, I'm not sure pushing is going to get me anywhere. I'm not treating him as a serious suspect for the Baron's murder at this time. Fair enough. Who else may have wanted to see the Baron dead? Well, now comes the moment. I think I'm going to leave her out of it. I've been asked to. I don't think she was involved. You know, I don't really think it's fair to throw Matilda under the bus. I think that'd put a lot of the other nuns in jeopardy as well. Perhaps Mother Cecilia. So, I guess I'm gonna leave her out of it. I've given a couple of suspects. Martin's not that convincing, but I think Ferenc and Lucky. You know, it's possible. I will say if Pieros ends up being executed, I don't know. I'll feel conflicted. I'm hoping that this is enough to stop Piero from being killed. But if it's not, and I decided not to rat out Matilda, then I'll feel a little bad about it. But I don't know, right? I gotta make the decision now, knowing what I know. So I think, you know what? I can think of no one else who could have caused harm to the Baron, your reverence. Very well. Are you aware of anything else that might shed some light on this case? Has Brother Florian told you about the note he found in the Baron's clothing? Yes, Brother Florian explained how he came to find it and told me its contents. Master Adel Jaeger has entered his testimony in our register. I don't understand the implications. Who is the innocent? It's not clear to me either, your reverence. Do you believe the murderer wrote it? Whoever wrote it was a talented scribe. I understand Curacao has two, the elderly brother Adok and the younger brother Guy. To be frank, your reverence, neither man has the skill to write in this way. There's something else about it, too. The style is just different. It's unlike Edok and Guy's writing, unlike mine. Something about the way the first and second strokes meet on the A and G. Yes, well, whatever the particulars, it seems it will remain a mystery that stands apart from the commission of the murder. Unfortunately, your reverence, there was more to tell. I found more notes. Notes written in the same hand, on the same type of parchment, to those who had a motive to kill the Baron. This is deeply troubling, but again, beyond the bounds of my investigation. Really? beyond the bounds of your investigation? It feels pretty within the bounds of the investigation to me. In any case, I thank you for bringing it to my attention. Of course, Your Reverence. Thank you again for your time, Master Mahler. Oh my goodness. Well, well, well. So, I will say, me being a pedant hurt my case. Classic me moment. But, because I'm an orator, and because I was polite, that has given me the opportunity to give an opinion. Would it be impertinent of me to opine on who the killer is? Not at all. You are an educated man, and have conducted yourself appropriately in this inquiry. Thank God. I reserve final judgment, of course, but who do you believe killed the Baron? No, I'd rather influence the decision. Considering all the evidence... Oh, wow. Oh my goodness, are these all my pieces of evidence? Oh, I see. This is like the quest line, essentially. Well, I mean, I'll put it this way. Just from the fact that I've got 3 different points on Lucky and 14 on Ference, that should probably reveal to you who I think is more responsible. It's very possible it was Lucky. I think very possible. But I think it's more likely that it's Ference. Now, I mean, just because there's more points. I mean, this is because Ference's sort of quest line was a little more elaborate. There was more to go through. But I think, in my opinion, Ference is the most responsible looking of the bunch. I'm trying to save Piero's life, and also I would like to justify me and Volkbert digging up the grave. Perhaps this might help. To be fair, I'm not sure, I mean, I guess it's kind of I hadn't really thought of this. If I'm trying to take attention off of the Abbey, this is not helping. This is, in fact, putting more attention back on the Abbey. But, I mean, the current suspect is Piero, right? So the Abbey is already in question. And, I'm trying to save Piero's life. So, I'm gonna accuse Ference, I'm sorry to say. Prior Ference, Your Reverence. Others may have had a motive, but Prior Ference had the most to lose. Noted. Your contributions to this inquiry are appreciated. Thank you for your time and candor. Let's not say that. I mean, you're quite welcome, Your Reverence. I mean, I know he knows that we are friends with Piero, but no need to remind him of that, right? I want him to see us as sort of an arbiter, a somewhat non-biased arbiter. Now, we are, of course, very biased, but no need to remind him that we're doing this to save Piero's neck. Until later, Master Mahler. Until then, Your Reverence. Well, I can't say... Oh, final day of law and judgment. Oh my goodness. What the hell's going on? Well, I think we're about to see judgment. Okay. Well, I guess we'll see what the Archdeacon has decided. I can't say I loved the guy, but he was okay. I mean, he did listen to what I had to say. Andreas, I didn't think you were coming to this. I didn't think I was either. I suppose I wanted to see how this ends after all. What? Oh my goodness. So we did it. It was the prior of the Abbey, if you can believe it. Did you ever talk with him at the Abbey, Andreas? I did. A couple of times. In fact, maybe I really shouldn't be so giddy about it. I'm glad that Piero, I think, is okay. But whatever happens next, I'm responsible for, really. Yeah, I did talk with him. Prior, get Ference executed. What an achievement. You missed the trial, Andreas. The Archdeacon read all the charges and found him guilty. I mean, screw it. At this point, I might as well try to justify what's happened here. I worked with him every day. He was obsessed with dark magic. It was only a matter of time before he got caught. You know, I'm not sure how the Abbey's gonna be, and I'm sure I've jeopardized my position with the Abbey. But, oh well. I mean, look, here's the thing. A murder case is not a pretty thing. I could have kept myself out of it. If I'd done that, Piero would have been killed. And I'm certain Piero had nothing to do with it. About time then. Oh, here comes the procession. Oh. Did I miss anything? No, you're fine. Andreas. Otto? My. Mistake, Keetolis. I didn't do this! God knows it, even if you do not! Matthew's praying, I imagine. This can't be happening. This can't be happening. Oh. Oh! God. Holy moly. Running like a chicken. Crying like a woman. Silence! Silence. Oh. Yes. I order the executioner to carry out his duty. Oh my. I warrant him peace and safe conduct, whatever may befall him. This is quite something, folks. No, I mean, look, as far as I'm concerned, I bear a lot of the responsibility for this, so I should watch. My God, my God. Hold still. No. Oh my. Jesus Christ. Well, he didn't hold still, did he? Not a clean execution. You've executed as judgment and law have required. Not a clean execution. For that, I thank God and my master who has taught me such art. Rickard. Jesus Christ. Well. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I know this was your doing, Andreas. You know it was only a matter of time before Ferenc was cut up for his interests. Yes, but that was for me to deal with. There's no future for the scriptorium now without him. Is that really what you're concerned about? He killed a man. You're no longer welcome at Kirsa, Andreas Mahler. I will send your final payment to the Gertners. Yeah, I'm not that surprised. May you have a long, successful career in Nuremberg, and may you never travel this way again. Yeah, not so shocking. Separation. Andreas, has the time come for you to leave us? It has, Piero. You're welcome, by the way. I saved your damn life. You know, yeah, we're no longer welcome at the Abbey. Oh well. I did want to avoid this, but it's happened anyway. We dug up the body without the abbot's permission. We threw the prior under the bus. But all I have to say is that, Gernot, you were ready to throw Piero to the dogs when it was very clear he had nothing to do with this. So, I can't, you know, I don't feel too bad in the end, I have to say. I'm afraid so, Brother Piero. The farewell will have to be brief. Father Gernot made it clear I was no longer welcome at Kirsa. I pray that time will soften Father Abbott's heart. Doubt it. I hope he eventually realizes you were only trying to help me. This is a sad parting, but inevitable. I'd hoped you'd stay a bit longer. But the world needs you more than Kirsa does. You've grown beyond this old abbey and become a master in your own right. Well, thank you, Piero. You know, it's hard to judge the morality of this whole situation. Did I do something good? Did I do something bad? I'm not quite sure. I definitely condemned Ferenc to his death. I think he's the most likely of the suspects, but did he do it? I can't say that for sure. So that's probably something bad. But then again, I think saving Piero was something good. And also, the only way to save Piero, unfortunately, was to essentially condemn somebody else, and the other suspects were just not as suspicious as Ferenc was. I didn't want to speak about Matilda. I didn't really think it was luck. I mean, it could have been lucky. It wasn't Martin. We didn't even have the chance to talk about Attilia. Maybe I didn't get the chance to investigate enough. So I went with who I thought was the most likely of the suspects. Now look, the Baron was a bad guy. Frankly, I don't care that much that he ended up dead after everything we've learned about him. But unfortunately, this was a situation where someone had to pay for the crime. You know, like I said, I don't know where you stand morally. It doesn't seem very clear to me, but definitely tough. I will miss you, my son. As I will you. Your masterpiece is complete. May I see it one last time before you go? Yeah, please, I value your assessment. The opinion of one old monk matters little. All the same, I'm excited to see it finished at last. It is a masterpiece, truly worthy of the words. Hey, it's the people we've we've met. The Gertners over here. It appears you took my advice to heart. I did! And you know what? Piero, that conversation with you is really what made me so determined to save you. I mean, Piero was kind to us from the beginning, but that conversation, that revealed to me what our relationship really was, where Piero truly was trying to give us advice, to mentor us, and I think he really understood the art. He understood what Andreas was trying to go for and was missing. And so that was an important conversation. So yes, I took your advice to heart, Piero. What advice was that? Hey, there's me. Put yourself into the work. Not just to interpret another artist's work, but to transform it into something true. That's what I tried to do. This shows the world as it is, as you have seen it, even if it's not what we may want to see. Though it's not my place to say so, I'm proud of you, Andreas. Well, thank you, Piero. It's appreciated. What's this? A scrap of parchment? Uh-oh. Oh. Do not return here. A warning? Oh my. Whose hand is this? Well, that's what I've been trying to find out. Maybe Gernot's. I never liked him. No, I'm just throwing random guesses now. Oh my. Now we got a message from, well, the murderer? In which case the murderer wasn't Ferenc, or someone who was pulling the strings behind the scenes? I don't know. It doesn't look like Brother Adox or Brother Gaius. But Brother Florian and I found a similar note in the Baron's clothing. And I found more notes delivered to others while I was investigating. They must have been written by someone who knew the darkest secrets of the town and this abbey. They tugged at those secrets to kill the Baron, like someone pulling at threads that had been buried in the past. Yeah, I mean, it seems to me that this person perhaps didn't kill the Baron themselves. I mean, I still think it was Ferenc. Ferenc literally had that bloody rod with which I think he killed the Baron. But I think this person was pulling the strings behind the scenes. A frightening thought. But who would do such a thing? I wish I knew. Do not trouble yourself overly about it. Your future lies outside of these walls. Yeah, I don't think I'll be coming back, Piero. Both because Gernot does not want to see me again, and because this individual, whoever they are, has probably got it out for me. I hope that you'll have time to visit me once or twice in your travels before the Lord takes me. I'm sure we'll see each other again. I'm not gonna come as often as I can. Sorry, Piero. Assuming Father Gurnot doesn't forbid it, we must have faith that better days lie ahead for all of us. God bless you, Andreas Mahler. Well, thank you for your friendship. Until next time. Man. Man. Who's this? Sorry, what? What is happening here? Is this us? Old? No, not old, but older. Casper, are you alright, Master Andreas? What? Oh my god, it's Andreas. But, I mean, I know Andreas was a man, but this is him truly a man. My god, he looks quite successful, huh? Are you alright, Master Andreas? Yes, thank you. I was just remembering him. Trying to, anyway. It doesn't come easily anymore. Oh, would you like me to leave you alone? No, Casper. It's not necessary. Wow, this is a crazy flash forward. There's nothing to be done about it now. It's too late. Like so many things. Wow, Guy, you look the same. You have frankly not aged a day. Andreas Mahler, I never expected to see your face here again. Have you been in Nuremberg for these last 7 years? It's only been 7 years. Andreas, you really grew up over those 7 years. No, Nuremberg for a few years, but I received some lucrative commissions abroad. Ooh, wait a minute. What is happening? Do we get to play as... Oh my god. Do we get to continue? We get to continue with Andreas 7 years later? Okay, where did Andreas go to work? First option, Poland. Andreas knows some Polish, bits of Czech and Hungarian, and can reference cultural touchstones from Krakow and Buda. I don't know. England. Andreas knows some English, and can reference cultural touchstones from London and other parts of Britain. I don't know. I'm leaning towards France and Aragon, just from the outset. France. Andreas knows French and can reference cultural touchstones from Paris, Tours, and Dijon. I gotta be honest, that sounds useful. I mean, we know how important France was as a cultural center at this time. Not to mention, knowing French would have been useful already. So I'm leaning towards France, but let's see what Aragon has to offer. Andreas knows some Spanish and bits of Arabic, and can reference cultural touchstones from Barcelona and Valencia. Interesting. I like the bits of Arabic, right? It's a reference to the fact that a lot, in fact, at one point, almost the entirety of the Iberian Peninsula had been occupied by Arabic powers for hundreds and hundreds of years, and actually relatively recently at this point, they'd gone through the process of Reconquista, which is where the Christian forces essentially pushed out the Muslim, well, both the Muslim states, then also a lot of the Muslim and Jewish civilians were deported, kicked out, killed, or forced to convert. But, of course, there still would have been a lot of Arabic influence at this point in the early 1500s in Spain, in Aragon. I'm gonna go with France. Knowing French would be useful since we don't already know it, and having some of those cultural touchstones throughout France, I think that'd be worthwhile. I spent a few years in France and Burgundy, painting portraits and religious paintings for nobles and courtiers. I mean, I know I'm sort of centering us, and, you know, we sort of, Andreas' experience from what I've given him, he's sort of been based in Central Europe, Holy Roman Empire, a bit in Italy, a bit in France, all in the same sort of neighborhood. But I mean, of course, it's useful to know all those different languages when you're in Central Europe, the Holy Roman Empire as we are now. Burgundy, powerful former duchy of eastern France that became a province in 1477, known for its wine, art, monasteries, and courtly fashion. Okay, so, I mean, I think we were sort of preparing ourselves working here. I mean, for the life of an artist, where we'd of course take, commissions from wealthy nobles, but would have a sort of, maybe like a middling workshop of our own, but it appears that Andreas has actually done quite well for himself. Seems to have earned quite a good deal of money by taking these commissions. Did you visit Provence? Only briefly, for a commission. Why? When King Louis expelled the Jews from the region some years ago, a number chose to convert and remain. Yeah, I mean, I was just talking about Reconquista in the Iberian Peninsula, but of course, that's a specific and large-scale example, but toleration was not super common around Europe at this point. I mean, even toleration between Catholics and Lutherans, but especially if you were Jewish. Depending on where you were in a lot of these different kingdoms, that could be pretty challenging, pretty dangerous. So the king taxed them into misery. I wondered if the tax yet persisted. I had no idea. That's an interesting thing to ask about, Guy. I am surprised you care at all. Yeah, me too. Well, I'm not about to leap into a fire to save anyone, but I don't think it's right what happened to them. What the hell? Guy, I thought you were a selfish asshole. This is the first moment of empathy I've ever seen you have. In spite of your extensive travels and success, you're still not welcome at Kearsarge. Could have guessed. The abbot hasn't forgotten what happened. 7 years isn't all that long. I simply wanted to pay my respects to an old friend. Surely you can understand that. I understand why Father Abbot expelled you from the abbey. What were you expecting? A hero's welcome? I don't care. I don't like Gurno. I don't care if I'm welcome or not. Land House, an inn or tavern, usually owned and operated by a single family that serves travelers in rural areas. Fine. Tell Father Gurno I'll be staying at the land house in town for a night or two, before moving on. The Golden Hand? I'll tell him, but I can't imagine he'll care. Why is he so rude? Good question, Casper. God bless you. Now, be off. Casper, this is what we know as an asshole. Revolution, Chapter 4. Oh. Revolution, eh? You know, we have... Wow. 1525. Let me write that down. 1525. So we started our story, 7 years prior, and we talked about how that was the very beginning of the Reformation. I mean, we talked about Martin Luther with the Lorenz and some of the other monks, and how this was all beginning. At this point, 1525, the Reformation has kicked off, and as the title Revolution spells out, we are now really entering into an era of religious violence, of peasant rebellion in particular. If I had to guess, that's what we're going to be dealing with in this next section, judging based on the title. Though we've been through a couple of sections really quickly here, so this is a really fascinating time in European history, sort of Central European history in particular, as in the Holy Roman Empire and the surrounding countries. So is Caspar our apprentice or our steward or something? That monk seemed unhappy to see you, Master Andreas. Why is the abbot so angry with you? Toward the end of my stay in Tassing, there was a murder at Kearsarge Abbey, a nobleman. Father Gurno panicked and accused my friend, Brother Piero, of committing the crime. Screw it. I helped convince the investigating archdeacon that another monk was responsible, Prior Ferenc. He was executed for the crime. You got someone killed? It was that or let an innocent man die. That's not much of a choice. Still, I would have been scared. Well, look, Casper, I can't say I felt great about it. You know what I mean? It was a difficult situation, but honestly, 7 years later, I can't say I feel too bad about it. I mean, look, if I was in that position, it would certainly gnaw at me that I had essentially gotten somebody killed. But given the situation, I think I did what I could. You know, I mean, it makes sense to me that Father Gurneau is still angry at me, but I'm not seeking his forgiveness. I don't care. Guy's an asshole. He can do what he wants. Why didn't you mention it before? Well, I suppose it must have been a hard situation about... It must have been a hard situation about... If the abbot is still this mad at you. Let's not say that. That sounds kind of crazy, Andreas. Yes, it was difficult, but also exhilarating. Like, sorry, what? No, I had to make some difficult choices. Maybe they were the wrong ones, but I've had to live with them. You may come here if you're not welcome. I wanted to pay my respects to Brother Piero. Yeah, I wonder if we did get to visit Piero during that time. And to be honest, I'm not looking forward to returning to Nuremberg. Why is that? This commission, it's an obscene vanity piece under the pretext of a religious scene. My patrons just want to celebrate themselves and their wealth. Well, isn't that how it often is, Andreas? I dread each new commission more than the last. Each step I take towards home is agonizing. But, Master, you're famous and rich. Your work is wonderful. It seems like you've done pretty well for yourself, Andreas. When I saw your altarpiece in Nuremberg, I begged my father to help me become your apprentice. Okay, so you are my apprentice. I don't understand how you could accomplish all that you have and be unhappy. Jeez, how much do I want to crush this young boy's dreams? Andreas is definitely, he's a journeyman in more than one sense of the word. As in, Andreas is someone who appears to be never satisfied. He's a seeker, a searcher, whatever you want to call it. It all sounds pretentious, but I'm getting the vibe that this is someone who hops from one thing to another, from university to being a journeyman to a master, is never truly satisfied with what he's doing. He's always looking for something else. You know, Casper, I thought I wanted to be like my father, like my brothers. I thought that was my dream. Once, I wanted this life so much that it consumed my every waking thought. I don't know if I've changed, or if what I wanted was never really real. Maybe I've been a fool this whole time. Well, that's often how it is, right? You want something so desperately, and then when you get it, you're sort of like, oh, what now? Although there's a bit of a different thing between, I think something a lot of us experience is we're always looking to climb the next mountain, to climb the next goal, and then when you get to the top of the mountain, you expect it to be some grand accomplishment, but you're just sort of like, okay, I'm here now, on to the next thing. That's just life in my experience. Whereas what Andreas is saying is sort of like that, but he's sort of seeming like he's more, I got this, and I don't know if I really wanted it, honestly. It's not just underwhelming, he sort of seems, I don't know, a little depressed with where his life is. Sheesh. Come on, let's not crush the lad's dreams. I want life as an artist to be better for you, Casper. Learn from my mistakes, alright? Alright, yes, Master Andreas. Yeah, I shouldn't be burdening you with such dark thoughts, Casper. Let's visit my old friend Klaus. It's been too long. As you like, Master Andreas. Yeah, I mean, I'm not used to having an apprentice, but I want to at least treat the young lad well. Room is sparse compared to what I'm used to. Damn, okay, so, hey, Andreas really is living that wealthy life now. I wonder if we'll get to explore um, different parts of Europe, or if we'll be back here in Tossing for an extended time. Hello, Andreas. How are you enjoying your stay? Don't be a dickhead. It's been wonderful, Hannah. Thank you. Oh, good. You're in the best room we have. I'm glad it's to your liking. Was there anything else? No, thank you. Until later. Until then. Guys, this is crazy. I mean, it's still sinking into me that it's been 7 years and we are back. Back in Tossen. This is, it's pretty cool. Killian. Good day, Master Mahler. Good day. Nico. Ah, Master Mahler, is it? Hello and welcome to the Golden Hand. I am Nico Berger. I own this land house and run it with my wife Hannah and our son Killian. I believe my boy helped you to your room. Is it to your liking? That's lovely, thank you. I'm glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. When you arrived in town, one of the locals said you lived here a few years back. Yes, I worked for the Abbey as an artist. Ah, I see. I heard that you were involved in solving a murder. That I was. I doubt he's asking me to solve a murder. Yes, out of necessity. The wrong man was being accused of the crime, a friend of mine. I heard it was the prior at the Abbey, that the Baron was a sacrifice to some diabolical spell the brother was casting. Oh my. Well, I did say right after, or during that execution that, you know, screw it, I gotta justify my actions now. And so I guess that's a rumor I essentially started to spread. I'm sure that does not help the reputation of the Abbey. The Baron was a sacrifice in a diabolical spell. Wow, so that's the tale that's been told about all of this. Not quite, but, you know. Alright. I just find it to be an interesting story. Ah, well, I should let you get to your day. Until later. Until then. Oh, this is so fun. Wow, all these new characters. Look at this guy. Elaborately dressed. Samuel. Who the hell are you? Hello, Andreas. Nothing more to say? Well, I hope we can talk to you some more later. 7 years, I'm sure a lot has changed. I mean, honestly, I sort of thought it'd been more than 7 years with how much Andreas has changed. But I guess 7 years is a long time. Brother Voislav uses time in almost all the Abbey's cooking. Maybe because it grows so easily here. Andreas, it's not 7 years ago. Well, I see one of our friends over here. Where are we on the map? Oh, interesting. So the inn was not here before, right? This is a new addition. Of course it is a new addition. I would have remembered if this was here. Otto! Can we, yeah. Just do it. You know it's the right thing. I don't understand why this is so hard for you. Otto, I'm scared. It's dangerous to cross the abbot. Are we crossing the abbot? I'm on board. He's now a full enemy of mine. Look, the last time I was here, I was sort of on the edge with the abbot, where at first I tried to please him and be respectful, but when the rubber met the road, I sort of had to get on his bad side, just to do what I had to do, frankly. So now we're beyond that, I'm ready to be his enemy. Would you prefer the alternative? You don't need to do that, Otto. I understand, I'm just saying... Andreas. Andreas Mahler? It's good to see you again, old friend. You're looking well. You're looking the same. I wonder if everyone else is gonna look the same and we look so different. This is my apprentice, Casper Ziegler, from Salzburg. Okay. Small city located on the river Salzach and founded on Roman ruins. Rumors of violence and rebellion in the city are becoming more common. Casper's hometown. Well, like I said when we started this chapter, this is the beginning, especially 1524, 25, of an era of violence, warfare broadly, but in particular of rebellion, peasant rebellion. So there's a lot happening here. Good day. Ah, that answers that. I thought he might be your son. Hasn't been that long. We don't grow them that fast, even in Nuremberg. They grow fast enough around here. Ava and I just had our first. Hey, there you go. Little Otto, though we call him Utz. Hey, so they did end up getting together. I facilitated that. Oh, I'm so curious. See, this is how they get you. I'm wondering, you know, had I made different decisions, would things have been different this time around? I'm sure they would be. I will say, I mean, I'm curious to see how different some people look. Otto looks pretty similar, but of course, all the little kids we saw, it's been 7 years. I mean, the babies will be, like, fully grown kids. The kids we saw, the adolescents, they'll be adults, right? So that's gonna be cool. Well, congratulations to you both. That's wonderful news. Thank you. It's been a trial with Dad gone. Aw. I'm not that surprised. But Clara and Ursula help out where they can. Yep. I remember. Well, I'm sorry to hear about your father. That's life. At least he's with the Lord now, free of his aches and pains. Yeah, he did like to talk about those. I know Ava wrote to you about my father's death, Andreas. Why didn't you write back? Andreas? Come on, man. Why didn't you write back? I'm sorry. Things got busy after I left tossing. Sorry to interrupt, but I should be heading back. I feel like I should remember your face, but I can't place it. Martin! I knew it. Well, I didn't know it, but I suspected it. Oh, don't trouble yourself. It's me, Martin, remember? Oh, yes, of course. Hello, Martin. Hello. Sorry to run, but I have to get these sheep back to the farm. Martin, you were a real shithead last time we met. Have you, grown up a little bit? As much as I love whiling away the hours in the meadow, I have a lot to attend to. Otto, I'll see you at the meeting later. Andreas, until later. Until then. Oh, god damn it. I missed a thought. Pain in my ass. What's this about a meeting? You've picked an interesting time to visit. Come by the town commons in a while. I think you'll be interested to hear what I have to say. I didn't realize you were in the business of giving speeches. I'll definitely attend. Sounds good. Until later, then. I mean, Otto was always an, outspoken fella, you know what I mean? Many-petaled cinquefoil. It grows so easily, some consider it a weed. Schlau, the same Schlau from years ago? Schlau, come on now. You always gotta pet the animals. That's what I'm gonna teach to Casper. Casper, you always gotta pet the animals, my man. Well, I'm pretty sure I'm going the wrong direction, but... A stunning collection of wildflowers. They all grow so plentifully in the meadow. I think whatever we were doing, we need to head back into the town commons. Yeah. But let me explore this other side of town. Oh, look at this. Italy, Nuremberg, France? What a cultured man! I'm curious. I know we're not welcome at the Abbey. Just to see if we can, I don't know, do anything here. Sneak around the back. No, I'm not trying to get up to anything nefarious. Once again, we're not welcome, and, that doesn't bother me too much. Yes, the doors are locked to us, as expected. So is the shrine, and the Covenant Garden. Okay, well, never mind then. Well, you know, things have changed visually a little bit. Let's go up to the mill. Oh yeah, those old Roman ruins. Oh wow. These drawings are getting better and better. Yeah, they've definitely evolved since the last time we were here. Okay. Maybe there's not much to see right now. We gotta get back into the center of town. But I've learned my lesson, folks. I've learned that in this game, you gotta really investigate when you get the chance. Although everything is sort of roughly looking the same. Yeah. And the old grave is still there. Wonder if... I'm just so curious. To be honest, I was sort of... Well, I don't know. I don't know if I expected the game to end with the investigation, but I felt like everything was drawing to a close, and now there's more. With Father Gernot's new restrictions, the townsfolk can't even gather sticks without a fee. Gernot. But yeah, I didn't expect, but I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna get. Okay. Well, it's time to head into the center of town. And there are definitely some things I missed last time, like, unfortunately, I never got to go visit the women spinning. I sort of thought I'd had more time to do that. I didn't think we were gonna launch 7 years into the future. I mean, this is crazy, guys. What the hell are you two gossiping about? Andreas, I had heard you were back in Tossing. God bless you. God bless you, Father Thomas. It's good to see you again. Hopefully this visit will be less eventful than your last. Yeah, hopefully. Tossing has enough going on as it is. Seems like it. We have our bonfire for St. John's Eve tomorrow night. People get up to all sorts of mischief. The feast and celebration of St. John the Baptist, beginning at sunset on June 23rd. So we're in the summer. Coincides with Midsummer's Day in the summer solstice. That's an exciting time. So June. I gotta say, I know a bit of history from this time, but I don't know it well enough to be sort of judging the historical events by the months, I'll say that much. But by the years, I know some exciting stuff is happening. And then it's my job to hear their confessions in the days that follow. Not to mention the grumbling the peasants are making. Grumbling, eh? I think it's gonna become more than grumbling, guy. That's just talk, brother. No need to scare our guests with such things. I'm sure if there's trouble, Master Mahler will be the first to stick his nose into it. Why are you all such an asshole? You have no appreciation for how privileged your life is. It's easy enough for you to come and go. You don't have to live with the consequences. After Ferenc was executed, Father Abbot made Matthew the new prior. Oh, interesting. Ferenc may have been annoying, but Matthew's even worse. Thanks for that. You know, Guy, that's not your problem. You've been an asshole the entire time we've known you. Okay? It would have been better for everyone if you'd simply allowed Brother Piero to die. You're a piece of shit. You're a bad person. You're a straight-up bad guy. But we knew that, but still. I've got nothing nice to say to you. After all, he only had a few years left anyway. You're a buffoon and a coward who hides behind his habit. Yeah. I remember the first time we were in the scriptorium, I think I said, like, one thing to defend Guy, because I didn't know him. And since then, he's just been a total jerk. just a really nasty, nasty individual. Friends, there's no need for such ire. Forgive me, Father Thomas. I let my passions get the better of me. Besides, that's not even why I came down here. Yeah, fuck off. I actually came to speak to you on the abbot's behalf, Andreas. Father Gurnot would like to invite you to come to the library tomorrow morning, if you're interested in purchasing some of our books. The abbot just had me run off, and now he wants me back. I can't know the mind of the Father Abbot, I just do what he asks. That's not all you do. The library is not quite ready yet, as it does not see much use. If you could come by tomorrow morning, Mother Illuminata can show you what's available. Mother Illuminata! Oh, very interesting. What happened to Cecilia? Mother Illuminata? Yes, since Mother Cecilia passed a few years ago. Man, Piero's gone, Cecilia's gone. This abbey's only getting worse, I gotta be honest. I mean, Piero was one of the best of the old wise monks of the abbey. I wonder if Adok is still there, or if he's passed as well. And Cecilia was the best leadership they had, you know? I mean, Father Gurnot, he's terrible. Cecilia, she was always the more reasonable of the two. She was pretty good. I don't know how Illuminata is as a leader, but that's a shame. How did she die? Peacefully, in her sleep. So, tomorrow morning, I'll come by and take a look. Very well, I'll let him know. And Andreas, I apologize for my harsh words before. It was rash. What? What is your deal, man? I mean, what? I appreciate someone who regrets their actions, but you said something so horrible about 30 seconds ago, now you're apologizing? How am I supposed to take that genuinely? You know what I mean? You know, it just seems like you're being insincere. And you are! Brother Piero was a pious man and a skilled artist. We miss him. Whatever. I mean, I'm not gonna further antagonize him, right? Because that would probably, at that point, I'd be the instigator. But also, I'm not gonna take it at face value, because he's obviously being insincere. Oh, Father Thomas, do you have a moment to speak inside the church? Yes, I think so. Why? Yeah, because he doesn't want me to hear, that's why. A private matter. Oh, of course, of course. I'm very suspicious about this invitation to the library. Now, it could just be the Abbey's fallen on hard times, and they need someone with money, me, to buy some of the books. But I don't know. Until tomorrow, God bless you, Andreas. Well, that was really quite a show for young Casper, huh? I doubt he's seen Andreas cuss out many people. I mean, who knows what's happened in the 7 years, but I'd be surprised. Whoa. Or does the Drucker's house look the same or different? I can't tell. Hello, Drucker's family? Anybody here? Ah, yes. Klaus. ... Andreas. Sorry, Klaus. I know it's been a long time. 7 years. 7 years and nothing from my friend Andreas. Andreas, what the hell have you been up to, man? Okay, we became... Sounds like Andreas really has lost his way. He became a bit of an asshole, huh? So, not only did we not get back to Otto and Ava, who were telling us about their lives, but we haven't communicated with Klaus at all? Andreas, what's happened to you? Come on, man. Sheesh. First Bert, then Mary just after Magdalene was born. My wife always thought highly of you. I can't believe you didn't write back after I told you they had passed. Andre, what the hell? Are we gonna learn more about what happened to Andreas during this 7 years? I mean, we know that he got fabulously wealthy and was quite successful as an artist, but seems like, I don't know, he's become less of a good guy. I'm sorry, I really am. I'm sorry. I don't know about Andreas. I'm sorry, I should have written. Yeah, you should have. Too late for that now, though. Yeesh. I mean, Andreas, what? Wow, bad guy. I mean, not good. Andreas, you're not welcome at the Abbey for obvious reasons. Fine, but you're not even welcome with your prior friends because you've abandoned them. You didn't speak to them for 7 years. What the hell? Magdalene Boop de Bobo. Oh, hello. He likes you. Your, business seems to have grown. What are you printing? The 12 articles. They were originally written by Swabian peasants who were demanding changes from their lords. Yeah, okay, we're really getting into it. Freedom from serfdom, freedom to hunt and use the woods as God intended, freedom from compulsory labor. So what we're seeing here, this peasant rebellion, is both the results of material changes that were happening at that moment, right? We saw the enclosures, we saw that there was less freedom to use the common lands, people were losing access to these lands, people were being more and more hemmed in, forced to sort of participate in the market more and more, you know, the privatization, enclosure of all this land, you know, not great for a lot of the peasants. And also there's this ideological aspect where the Reformation begins, this massive religious moment. It sort of gives people an alternative to the current hierarchy, the Catholic hierarchy. Also, Lutheranism has far more of a focus on the individual and their connection with God versus the individual and their connection with the Catholic hierarchy, right? So it sort of fosters a sense of individualism. It also leads to a bunch of these dissenters, right? People who had issues with the Catholic Church. And, you know, at this point, religion is such a big part of everyday life, of everyone's life, that really there is, you know, probably the hierarchy, the state hierarchy, the landlord, the church, it's all tied up. And so if just one of those legs breaks, well, everything starts to crumble. And that is what is happening here, right? A lot of these religious dissenters also become, you know, societal dissenters, reformers, rebels, revolutionaries, right? Now, actually, Martin Luther himself did not go that route, and maybe we'll talk about that more. He was, of course, a sort of religious reformer and radical, but was not a social radical, so he's an interesting character, but a lot of these Protestant religious leaders would then become sort of reformist or radical social or political leaders. So, I mean, there's a whole lot happening in this moment. Some pretty exciting stuff. Abolition of the inheritance tax, fair appraisal of rent, the return of property to common ownership, right? That's a big one. Bavaria isn't Swabia, but their complaints are just as valid for the peasants of Tassing. Swabia, a former duchy in the southern Holy Roman Empire. It was reformed as the Swabian Circle in 1512. It borders Bavaria to the west, the Swiss Confederacy to the south, and Austria to the southeast. Ah, so this is Otto's cause. I was sort of thinking he would be going in that direction. He's caught your ear already, The abbot has been squeezing the peasants for years. Now he's squeezing the townsfolk, and we're pushing back. Yeah. I mean, makes sense, right? You know, people are pushing back on a material basis, but now also, we saw there were plenty of people who did not like the Abbey 7 years ago. Their issues have only gotten worse with the Abbey, and of course that is in part due to Father Gournot himself, but we sort of talked about the wider societal changes as well. And now, if you do have an issue with the Abbey, maybe you can turn to Lutheranism, Protestantism. I mean, there's an alternative to the Catholic hierarchy. So you can maybe take up a cause as a Protestant, or maybe even still as a Catholic, right? It's not like you had to be a Protestant to revolt against your landlord, but it just happened that a lot of this was tied up with Protestantism. Their cause is righteous, Andreas. If you haven't seen the Gertners lately, you should visit them. Yeah, I probably haven't seen the Gertners lately, considering I've apparently talked to no one. I'm sort of hoping we'd come back into town. It's been 7 years. Oh, great, we get to see everybody again. How nice. But it's going to be a little less nice, because everyone apparently is going to be like, hey, how come you haven't talked to us for the last 7 years? Anyway, yeah, Andreas, I don't approve of your choices. But, you know, where is it my place to judge? Yeah, because I'm playing the guy. We'll try to make things right. And Otto had you print these? Yes. Why? Well, I didn't think he could read. He can't, but just about everyone else in town can. He speaks, I print, just trying to do my part, I suppose. I'm sorry, I'm still not in the mood for this late reunion. Come back for dinner tomorrow. You should go to the Commons, hear what Otto has to say. It's worth hearing. I understand. Until later, Klaus. Until then. Sheesh. Just awkward for Andreas. Anyway. Whoa! Look at this. So many people. Yeah, it's a whole town meeting. And people do not look happy. But everybody's here. In some ways, just like the day when Ferenc was executed. Everyone, listen. We all know why we're here. Nothing I'm going to say will be a surprise. Nothing I'm going to say hasn't already been spoken behind closed doors, whispered to your neighbors. Nothing I'm going to say is untruthful, so it's time we started saying it openly. Year after year, the Abbey has found new ways to tax the peasants. Piece by piece, the Abbey has taken away our rights to use God's forest to support our families. Law after law gets heaped upon us, restrictions on how we can pay rent, limits on where we can move, who we can wed. And now the death tax, which once claimed only our best animal and garment, takes half our estate. No consideration for widows, no consideration for children. Otto's quite a leader. I mean, look, he was a pretty outspoken fella 7 years ago. Seems like he's really grown into his own. And by the way, what we're seeing here, you know, oftentimes when people think of sort of medieval history, they seem to think that serfdom was this sort of eternal institution that had existed for hundreds and hundreds of years. But actually, in a lot of places, serfdom was imposed unevenly, right? You know, first of all, there's not a particular set of things you impose and then, oh, it's serfdom. There's different types of serfdom. There's different types of restrictions that peasants or serfs would be under. Sort of more of a spectrum, honestly. And it wasn't like, oh, well, things got better and better over time. No, sometimes things got worse. Sometimes, like in this moment, things would get more restrictive on the peasants. They would sort of transition from perhaps relatively free landowning yeomen, and they would transition into being essentially serfs. And that is sort of what we're seeing here, right? And it wasn't consistent, right? Some places you'd see serfdom on the rise, some places it would be on the decline. I mean, you know, once again, you don't want to think of medieval Europe and just think it was all serfdom all the time. That's pretty reductive. There was a lot of intricacy there. Ulrich, what about the town council, the Rathaus? A community hall where people meet, typically a council that governs day-to-day affairs under the authority of a lord. Surely that is a sign that the abbot wishes to share his power, to listen to our grievances. And this is an interesting case because you know, we talk about in medieval history, serfs and peasants, they're usually under the yoke of a particular lord. But in this case, it seems like the biggest landowner in the area is the abbey, right? So the abbey is playing that role, and it did in some cases, right? When we talk about the institutions of the era, we might be talking about lords. The church owned a lot of land, abbeys, different institutions. I mean, when we talk about the Holy Roman Empire, it was a bunch of these little different polities and states, some of them run by princes, some of them run as bishoprics, so run by religious authorities. I mean, there's a bunch of different ways authority could be exercised. And in this case, a lot of the authority seems to come through the abbey, and thus through the abbot. You have a good heart, Ulrich. You always want to see the best in people. But no. The council is a way for the abbot to divide us, to pit a favored few against the many. This is not charity. No, only greed and desperation drive Father Gurnot. You'd think that if the abbot could, he'd steal a dead man's soul from heaven itself. Look, I'm not a fan of the abbot either. And when we protested, what did Father Gurnot do? He locked the shrine of St. Moritz. Oh, I see. I mean, we went to check on it. It was locked, and it had always been open. He won't allow the people of this town, the farmers of this land, to pray before the relic. Now, when we most need the intercession of our saint, the abbot has shut us out. Father Gurnot's actions aren't just. They aren't Christian. We've endured this abuse far too long. Yeah, I'm on board. I'm on board. It's time we let the abbot know we won't take it anymore. Too right. Hear, hear. Yes, this has to stop, etc., etc. Stop! This is foolish! Soldiers are already patrolling nearby towns. Yeah, because there's already been a lot of dissent. If you push against the abbey, you'll incur the Duke's wrath. Oh, who's the Duke? You could get the town razed and everyone killed. I mean, that is the risk, but at the same time, I mean, look, this is the classic sort of revolutionary argument where one person says, things have been bad long enough, we need to stand up for ourselves. And someone else says, well, if you do that, you risk destroying everything. Right? So that's always the argument here. But, I don't know, I'd usually go with the person saying, we gotta stand up for ourselves. We gotta take back what's ours. So I'm partial to Otto. I mean, Andreas is frankly now of a different social class than a lot of these people. It appears we are pretty wealthy. But in this situation, though these were often peasant rebellions, I guess someone like Andreas might find himself sort of in the middle, which I guess is a good place for a player character to be, because you can maybe decide where you want to go, where maybe you could see it in your interest to side with the powerful and the wealthy to protect yourself. But also, most of these peasant rebellions, you know, they're not rebelling against wealthy artists. They're rebelling against local landowners, lords, the church even, right? So in that case, I think Andreas has more common cause. But then again, you can see how Andreas is probably also in part in line with some of those more wealthy individuals, so an interesting position. Hannah's right. The Duke is a powerful force in Bavaria. You're playing a dangerous game, Otto. I mean, you know, Andreas probably relies on the landowners, the rich and powerful, the nobles, to pay his commissions, so, you know, maybe economically for him it wouldn't make sense to get behind this peasant uprising, even if he's not the main target. You lot are no match for trained soldiers. If you don't relent, you'll be ground into dust like the Swabian peasants. We could always grind you up instead, Lenhart. You might be right if there are already soldiers about. I don't know about this. You have to stand for what is right. Rabble, rabble. Mixed opinions. Don't be shy. Speak up if you have cause. Martin. We won't be overrun. The peasants of Salzburg were able to take the city and have their cause heard. If the people can get the Archbishop of Salzburg to listen to them, then we can do the same with the abbot. Yeah, I mean, these peasant rebellions, frankly, not to spoil anything, I would say they were largely unsuccessful. But it was sort of a mixed bag. I mean, sometimes peasants found success, sometimes failure. Oftentimes there was temporary success that then led to a lot of bloodshed and death down the line. So overall, not too successful, but it does depend on where you look. Sir Andreas, do you think my family in Salzburg is all right? I don't know, Casper, but we can find out. All right. Enough is enough. We can't stand by while the abbot continues treating us poorly. Wow, Martin's changed. People all over Swabia are taking back their God-given rights. Why shouldn't we do the same? A righteous cause. Martin's right. We deserve better. Rabble, rabble. Well spoken, Martin. Everyone ought to consider what he said. Martin has proved dependable these last few years. That's shocking. But if the words of men can't persuade you, perhaps a sign from a greater power will. The abbot may have locked us out of our saint's shrine, but God has shown me that he is with us. Ow. I think that's all I should say for now. Thank you all for coming. You gonna leave us on a cliffhanger, Otto? What is this sign from the Lord? Good day, Andreas. Clara! I'll try and be nice, but, you know, people aren't so fond of us now. Clara, it's been too long. It's lovely to see you again. Hello, Andreas. Surprised to see you after your long absence from tossing. At this rate, we thought we'd never see you again. Yeah, I really should keep apologizing, because I've been kind of a dickhead to people. I was gone too long. I'm sorry for not sending word of my arrival. You certainly did pick an odd time to visit. Yes, it's a real shame that Andreas didn't keep up with everybody in town, because we could have been welcomed back as a friend. But now, we're back here in the midst of a rebellion, essentially. And we're sort of like a stranger to everybody, you know? We haven't talked to people in 7 years, so we're not really in everybody's good graces. We're in the middle of a strange season. Ah, you found the Gertners. Your speech was very... rousing, Otto. God, I should have guessed that. I swear, they get better each time. I hope the Duke doesn't catch word of this, Otto. The town could suffer for it. We're past the point of caring, Mahler. If you were in our position, you'd understand that. You're right, it's not my place to judge, I'm just concerned. It's appreciated, but we know the risk. That's funny. Criticize the church acting as lords. Nice. Otto, did you really see a sign from God? Is that true? It is, Andreas, I swear. Come to me later. I'll tell you what I can, alright? Anyway, Andreas, you and yours should come by the house for supper. We'd be delighted to have you. Sounds wonderful. We'll be there, Clara. Wow. What a crazy time. Andreas. Still hammering away? Andreas, you're back in tossing? Just for a few days, I wanted to pay my respects to Brother Piero. Oh yes, Brother Piero. What a talent with color. I'm sorry, Andreas. He was a sweet old man. I talk to him sometimes on my breaks up at the Abbey. I'm surprised Prior Ference didn't give you an earful. Well, he did before the, unpleasantness. I'm sure you know what shook things up at the Abbey for a while. Brother Guy made it clear I wasn't welcome at Kearsarge when I arrived, so yes. I mean, I've definitely, taken things off with Brother Guy. You know what I mean? I mean, look, things were bad. Guy didn't like us, but If we ever get a persuasion check with Guy, we're gonna fail it. And I don't even care. I hate him. For what it's worth, you're still welcome in Tossing. I don't know about that. Anyway. Matthew's prior now. Still strict, but a bit quieter about it. Yeah, that's the impression I got from him. Matthew always struck me as quite pious. True, you wouldn't think piety would be uncommon in an abbey, but with Father Gurnot... Oh, are you in with the peasants, Andres? Well, of course! Gurnot has been running them into the ground. On top of that, we can't even use the forest anymore. Any of us used to be able to go fishing in there. Not anymore. How far are you going to take this? Well, I don't know. Don't ask me, I'm not leading the thing. But I trust in Otto, and the peasants do too. He's a good man. The whole town knows it, even Lenhart, though he wouldn't admit it. Say, Andreas, how's the married life been treating you? After you left here and returned to Nuremberg, I take it you were married? I was. Sabine, she was waiting for me. I hope the married life has treated you well. I still have not found anyone. I fear it's never going to happen. Really? Not a single person has caught your eye? Well, when I was in Innsbruck a few years ago, I saw a real pretty girl in the market, selling painted pots. I think about her sometimes. Maybe more than is Christian. I mean, Andreas, you seem to have become a real, I don't know, grumpy old man. I mean, look, who knows if any particular marriage is going to be worth it, but I think it's worth trying. Andres, you need to go back to Innsbruck and find that pretty girl. What? Really? Life is too short to spend dreaming about the loves you could have had. Trust me. Hey, you seem to feel strongly about this, Andreas. Sounds foolish. Juvenile, you might say. Dang, okay. Sounds like our marriage is not going so well. Maybe, but it feels right. Well, if I ever have the chance to get back to Innsbruck, maybe I will. There's something to look forward to, after all. Thank you, Andreas. You're a man of inspiration. A pleasure. Until later, Andres. Until then. I mean, obviously, we can choose how Andreas responds to some things. But I am sort of, just from some of the options we've been given, I'm getting the impression... In fact, that whole conversation we had with our apprentice seems Andreas is not super satisfied with his life, his career, and possibly his marriage as well. So maybe, you know, things haven't gone so well. Well, let's try and cheer Andreas up. Hello, Gret. God bless you, Andreas. I'm thankful you returned to Tossing after so long. We prayed so fondly for you after you left. Dish. Thank you, Gret. I've kept Tossing in my prayers as well. Though it doesn't seem to have done much good. That's right. You read Otto's speech earlier. Yes, Tossing's peasants are struggling. And now even we townsfolk are pinched by the abbot's new restrictions. Don't worry about my husband. He's getting too involved with the whole business. What Gurnot is doing in Tossing is wrong, and Otto's standing up to him. That's what Ulrich says too. I love my husband, but sometimes I worry that he focuses too intently on the details. He does not see that he may be both prudent and Christian. I pray that I'm not acting selfishly, but the abbot's taxes have affected us too. What about Anna's future? Ulrich has been offering credit to Peter for years, which I've accepted, but now we can only bake so much bread a week before we go hungry ourselves. Can you talk to him, Andreas? Sure, but I can't promise I'll change his mind. God bless you, Andreas. That's all I ask. I mean, hey, seems like, pretty good for a bread maker. Bread making was central to any medieval town. And to have a good-hearted bread baker, that's a good sign. That's good for the village. Hello, Anna. Because in times of revolt, oftentimes the baker, I should say, would be the first one to be dragged out into the town square by the populace. Hello, Lucky. Andreas, not who I wanted to see. God has it out for me. Perhaps God is trying to send you a message of forgiveness. It's not good for the soul to hold a grudge. You still talk too much. Couldn't even hold back to the Archdeacon, running your mouth. I had to give a truthful testimony of what I learned. Don't think at all what happens after, eh? Good thing the Archdeacon knew how to weigh all the evidence. Turns out the prior's just as corrupt as regular folks. He was an asshole, so in the end it didn't surprise me. You didn't kill me, but you tainted my name. Well, I mean... Brother, you could have been a little more open with me. Folks whispering, what if they got the wrong person? Could have been the Mason after all. I mean... I'll apologize, but I don't think my apology means very much. I'm sorry, Lucky. Apologies don't bring work. Reputation does. Fair enough. At least most have the decency to only whisper, unlike that shit Muller. So no, I don't like seeing you here, Master Mahler. I won't be in tossing for long. I'll keep out of your way. Wise, we got nothing to talk about. Get lost. We really made a lot of enemies our last time here. Oh, Andreas, how good it is to see you again. Is it? And who's this? Hello, Agnes. This is my assistant, Casper. Hello. What is that supposed to be? Hail? What a... looking boy? And you, Andreas, you look very well. Why are you back in tossing? I came to pay respects to Brother Piero's grave. Oh, of course. I'm sure the brothers appreciated that. Nope. The last few years have been difficult for everyone. We've lost so many. Yes, I heard. Bert and Marie had passed. Tragic. Yes, poor Klaus. I hope you've stopped in to talk to him. He sent you letters. Ah, yes. Anyway, I won't burden you with all of Tossing's troubles. It's been good to see you again, Andreas. Until later. Until then. I wonder what our little apprentice has witnessed over these 7 years. Well, he probably hasn't been with us for the whole 7 years, but, has he witnessed a more... Whoa, what the hell's going on up here? My goodness. The Rathaus construction's going smoothly. I wonder if they'll finish it before winter. Oh, wow. That's kind of cool. Oh, the doctor. Dr. Stolz. We didn't leave on good terms either. The thing is, I left a lot of people on not great terms, and we're still on bad terms. But unfortunately, all the people I left on good terms, we're now on bad terms with as well. Hello, Werner? Yes. Oh, Andreas Mahler, how unexpected. I'm very busy at the moment. Another time. Later then. Yeah, we weren't super friendly the last time we talked either. Who was this? I like that we've gotten some new, characters here in town. Baltazar. What a name. Salutations! You must be that wonderful artist, no? Master Andreas Mahler, yes. Wonderful, wonderful. Balthasar Isenkopf, at your service. But call me Baltus, please, it's much more familiar. A pleasure, Baltus. Have you been in Tossing long? Oh, just a few seasons. My cart broke down, and I found the place so charming I decided to stay. I enjoy the quiet, but I must say I do miss the company of other intellectuals. Well, the last time I happened upon a random intellectual, it was the Baron, and he turned out to be a real bad guy, so I'm not getting too comfortable this time. Usually the good Dr. Stolz and I whittle the hours away in the evenings. You get along with him? So naturally, when I heard a well-known artist had returned, I was beside myself. Well, I'm always pleased to meet a like-minded individual. What do you do? I'm an inventor of sorts. Really? What do you make? All sorts of things, young man. Mechanical clocks of all sizes, metal mice that skitter about, even light without flame. Well, how do you do the last one? Truly impressive, Baltus. Thank you, Andreas. I knew a fellow artist such as yourself would appreciate my work. Oh well, I'd best get back to it. You know how it is for us few called to a higher art. Good luck, Baltus, until later. Well, he seems like quite a character. I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe I should try and make less enemies this time around. But you never set out to make enemies. You make them because you feel you have no other choice. So I don't think I'm gonna make that pledge, because let's be honest, I'm probably gonna make plenty more enemies when faced with the decisions to be made. So, we'll see, I suppose. Oh, hey, Thomas. Anything more to say? God bless you too. Oh, we can go in the church? Did we do that last time? Attilia! Oh my goodness, what are you doing here? This must be what the church is named for. A Marian apparition in Tossing's history. Interesting. Hello, Attilia. You're that artist who came here a few years ago, around the time of the murder. Yes, I'm Andreas Mahler. Right, I know your name. Do you work for Father Thomas? Work for? I'm his slave. I clean this damned church and keep his house so I have a roof over my head. Around the time the Baron was murdered, I lost my home. Yeah, we heard that might be about to happen. That bastard, the abbot, took it from me. Now I have to rely on the charity of the church. Right, and you hate the church. I hate the church. There you go. I hate the church as much as the abbey. I wish there were a hell so I could send the lot of those holy men there. I'm surprised Father Thomas lets you stay here. He thinks he can save me. I let him keep believing that as long as he keeps a roof over my head. Alright, well, I'll see you later. Fine. I mean, we left Attilia on fine terms. Not great, but not terrible. Given as we just didn't investigate her enough to, actually accuse her of anything. Elsa? Yeah, bless you too. Whoa, Paul! Oh my goodness, you have grown up quite a lot. Gotta pet the dog first. Staub. Hello, Paul. Hello, Master Mahler. Hello, Paul. Meet Casper, my assistant. Oh, hello. Do you work with Master Mahler? Have you done real art? I guess. I've been doing his sketches of tossing while we're here. Interesting. All art created from the artist's heart is real art, Paul. You don't need fancy paints or canvases to be an artist. They do help, though. You think so? Sure. Where's your art going? Shh. where Dad can hear. Oh, right. How's the art going? Ha! Ha! I've been practicing a lot more. Klaus even showed me a big book full of prints. He said they used a technique called woodcutting. Yeah. Have you ever done woodcutting, Master Mahler? No. I spent most of my time learning the finer techniques of oil painting. I wish Dad would change his mind about art. I mean, look, Paul. You know, I know we don't think of artist as a successful, money-making profession, but Andreas has made his money being an artist, and even if you're not what he does, which is taking commissions from the wealthy, you could be a woodcutter. You could make woodcuts, a silversmith, something like that, making fine cuts, right? I mean, there's art that has a more widely applicable use that was needed. I wish Dad would change his mind about art. Maybe one day, Paul, you never know. I hope so. I should get back to helping my dad. See you later, Master Mahler. See you, Casper. Until then, let's talk to the father. Andreas, welcome back to Tossing. Hello, Lenhart. How's the mill? Sturdy as ever, just like me. You look well. Not stuck with the Gertners this time, eh? No, I'm staying at the Golden Hand. Ah, good, good. That Hannah's a good woman. She runs the place well. Yeah, and you and her both agree on the brewing rebellion. And far away from those tiresome old monks, too. Anyway, you should come by sometime. I'm sure we'll have a lot to discuss. Good day, Andreas. Good day. I mean, I don't love the guy, but, no reason to be impolite. He's got a fine gun in the background here. Lenhart seems to be doing pretty well for himself, I must say. Not bad at all. Alright, let's see if there's anybody... Well, I know there are people down here. So let's see how they're doing. Martin Bauerhaus, huh? I'm a little suspicious of Martin. It appears that he's grown into a real man. But, we'll have to see about that. Andreas Mahler. Hello, cats. Well, would you look at that? You are back in Tossing. And look at you. You've done well for yourself. And who's this? Cat, please meet Casper, my apprentice. Hello. He's got the posture of an artist, that's for sure. Good strong face, though. I do? What brings you back to Tossing, Andreas? Just passing through on the way back to Nuremberg. Have you been, Cat? You seem well? I feel well. The past few years have been challenging, but I'm stronger now for the Lord's trials. Ah, Franz passed a few winters ago, and Wolf, Brigitte and I nearly lost the farm and our mines. Oh, wow. But Martin returned shortly after, and he's proved to be a changed man, a good man. What did Martin do for those... What was he up to? He saved us from destitution. Wow. I've been wondering where Wolf was. I'm so sorry, Cat. I don't know what else to say. I'm sorry. There's nothing to say, is there? He was a good boy. A sweet, good little boy. The stars dimmed when he passed. But that was years ago now. I try not to dwell on it, to be strong for Brigitte, to find solace in the knowledge that he's with God now. Times may be hard in Tossing right now, but God truly does answer our prayers. I'm glad you and your family are well, Cat, despite everything. Thank you, Andreas. It truly is good to see you again, even in the midst of such terrible times. Until later. Until then. I'm curious to talk to Martin. Hello, Martin. Andreas Mahler. Good to see you again after all these years. And you as well. What have you been up to? You look like you've done well for yourself. Art. I lived and worked in France for a few years. Ha! And people here think I'm well-traveled because I've been to Ulm. Though I suppose I have a lot of adventures for a country boy. What happened to you anyway? Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Oh, right. You know, I stole some of the Baron's things. I didn't make it far with them. I tried to sell them in Walgau, and I got robbed. Serves me right, I guess. But luckily, they didn't find the coins I was carrying. The money carried me around Bavaria for another month and a half. Then I started stealing. I grew bigger and more confident over time, and became a highwayman. Well, you are suited for the profession. You're lucky you didn't get killed. And that's what made me quit in the end. I had a partner for the last year of my adventures. We tried to rob some Italians. We thought they were merchants traveling under the banner of St. George. 2nd century Praetorian Guard and patron saint of England. He's most well known for his legendary victory against a dragon. St. George's Cross. But there were soldiers guarding money from the Bank of St. George in Genoa. Right. Exactly. I learned that later. My partner didn't survive the encounter. I was wounded and alone in the wilderness. I thought of my father, my mother, Brigida. I realized I couldn't remember Wolf's face anymore. I had to come back and take up the responsibilities I'd left behind. Wow. Well, it's good you did that for everyone's sake. Now, you may be right. Mom and Brigida couldn't run the farm after Dad died. Maybe it's for the best that he wasn't here when I got back. Yeah, I think that's probably right. It's all in the past now. Just need to look forward. That was quite the speech you gave back at the Commons. You need support. The townsfolk aren't as committed to opposing the abbot. They have less to gain and more to lose if the abbot chooses to get the Duke involved. Anyway, I have to get back to work. Good talking to you, Andreas. Alright, until later. Well, okay. I mean, unless he's really scamming us all, Martin's changed a lot. Hello, Andreas. Hello, Brigida. How are you? As well as anyone can be in tossing right now. Looks like things are going well for you. Martin's returned after all. Yes, the winter without him was excruciating. I lost little Wolf, and Cat was worried that she'd lose the farm after Franz died. But then Martin returned, and he's provided well for us ever since. Despite the tightening restrictions, we've gotten by. I'm thankful. I'm sorry to hear about Wolf. Thank you. I try not to think about it. Nod regretfully. Cat wants to talk about him all the time, you know. Any night there's clear skies. She looks up and asks if I ever wonder how he is up there. That must be excruciating. Yeah, it must be. Yes, it is. I'm sorry, Andreas. I can't talk about this anymore. My mistake. It's been good to see you again, but I should be going. Until later. Till then. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. Where Attilia used to live. I mean, they do have crops going here, but maybe tended to by the abbot, perhaps? Or not the abbot, but the abbey. Eddie? Hello? Hans? Oh my goodness. Hey, Andreas. Heard rumor you were back. Hello, Hans. Meet Casper, my apprentice. Hello. Hello. Are you from Nuremberg like Andreas? From Salzburg. Is that very far from here? Not too far, I think. A few days to the east on horseback. I've never been outside of Tossing. Wow. Or ridden a horse. Jesus. I mean, Tossing's a wonderful place to live. No need to get him down. I guess some of the men in town say it would be better if the Abbey weren't around. And they might be right about that. What do you think? I don't know. Could be nice to have a change. Be careful what you wish for. Change does not come peacefully in the Empire. Well, that is true. I guess we'll see. That is very true. Andreas Mahler. Didn't expect to ever see you back in tossing. You look like you've done well for yourself. Thanks. How have you been? Things went well for a while after you left. Widow Kemperin lost her land, and the Abbas let us work it. Oh, I see. Okay. My brother's heart gave out not long after. But then Martin came back to help work the land. Even so, it's been hard to keep up with the abbot's demands, the taxes, and everything else. Sounds like a lot of people are upset with the abbot these days. As we've seen, I mean, there's a reason that these were broadly peasant revolts. The peasants had the most to lose. Well, actually, the peasants had lost the most already. So, I guess, not that they had the least to lose, but they already lost the most. So they're already the most, you could say inspired or motivated to take a stand. Whereas it was a little bit different for the townspeople, you could say. They have good reason to be. I know you didn't get on well with the man either. No, I did not. Father Matthias never let things get this bad. I mean, I was hearing that 7 years ago. You know what I mean? So already at that point, people missed Matthias, and they were sick of Gurnot. Now it's been 7 more years. 7 years for people to get more and more frustrated. Anyway, good to see you, Andreas, even if you're just passing through. Till later. Yeah, Andreas, maybe you shouldn't just up and abandon everybody this time. You know what I mean? Perhaps you could have more of a long-term involvement with the town. Oh, just a little quiet around here. I feel like I've stopped by most of the places. Alright, let's see the Gertners. I mean, we've seen some of them. Clara. Hello again, Andreas. We're about to sit down to supper. Care to join? Yeah, it'd be my pleasure. It's truly a blessing to have everyone back together again, if only briefly. Keep an eye on that boy of yours, Andreas. See that he minds how much he takes. Young boys eat too goddamn much. Peter, stop that. Andreas is our guest. Why don't you lead us in grace? Fine. I can't believe old Peter's still here. Bless us, O Lord, and these your gifts, which we're about to receive from your bounty. We pray again for our beloved Christine, gone now these many years. Please help me protect my family in these difficult times. Through Christ, our Lord, amen. Amen, 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 etc., etc. Amen. Amen. Mr. Andreas, why are we the only ones with bread? The Gertners can't afford a lot of bread. They're being polite. Yikes. Things are really not going well. Andreas, it's good to have you at our table again. And with another guest. Is this young man your assistant? Casper, yes, he's my apprentice. Ah, that would explain why I saw him writing in that little journal. I remember you did the same thing when you lived here. Does Casper do all our journaling for us now? Instead of us writing down all our quests, we say, Casper, write that down. That's funny. Dang. It's tough. They're not doing great. Do you still draw in your journal, Andreas? Sometimes when the mood strikes. Wouldn't that be nice, Georg? If we only had to work when the whim took us. We toil all day, and that despicable abbot is starving us all the while he sips on his sacramental fucking wine. Lay off him, Dad. He's only just got here. Guess I'll eat the bread that no one else has. How have the fates been treating you these last few years? Not well. Uh-oh. The Lord is testing us with another hard season, I'm afraid. That's one way to say it. Been miserable as shit all around. Oh man, everyone's coughing. Maybe you should be resting, Grandpa. If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna do it sitting up on my own goddamn table. Whole family's been ill, Andreas. Peter, his father, and Ursula. With an ache? And me, well... Laura lost a child in childbirth a year ago now. Maybe not the right question to ask. I'm sorry for your loss. Thank you, Andreas. It was some time ago, but, well, such things linger. It was monstrous. Monstrous. Yeah, I don't... Oh, I missed the last thought. I don't think proselytizing is the best idea right now. Don't think about it, just keep the conversation going. You're already thinking about it. Please just leave me alone, just for a while. Alright, just for a while. What does that mean? It seems the Lord rarely looks in on tossing any longer. That's why it's time for us to take matters into our own hands. We're eating, not at the table. He's right! I love the no politics at the table, guys. Please, can we not talk about this now? I'll eat my cheese. York here was married while you were away, Andreas. Really? To whom? To me, Andreas. Why else do you think I'm here? Of course, you two make a good match. York has been good to me. There aren't many other options in Tossic anyway. Damn, poor York. It's been a couple springs, but I'm still not used to being married. I'm trying to be real polite here, because I've not come back on good terms. Congrats, York. I'm happy for you. Thanks, Andreas. It's been our one blessing in a dark season. With children soon to come, I hope. Ha ha ha. What? I don't get it. Do you? Oh, forget it, Ursula. What have you been up to, Andreas? Andreas, all you can do is complain? What should I say? My life seems so far from theirs now. Yeah. Do we only have one, like, I don't know what you call them, in our thought palace? Only Beatrice is left. Nothing but my miserable little problems. They'll think you're rude if you don't say something. Damn. Interesting. So Andreas really has changed. I mean, we can see in both how he speaks and in his thoughts. He's got no thoughts up there, head empty. Sheesh. I mean, 3 is maybe the least offensive, but I don't really want to throw Casper under the bus. Poor kid. Both of these are basically complaining, oh, I'm getting too much money. Well, I'll just say it. I don't think it's going to go over well. But this is the Andreas that we've gotten now. This is who he's become. Foreign patrons are fussy, and I've spent a fortune trying to keep my inks wet and canvases dry while traveling. Christ, Andreas, you're living like a king compared to us. What is it like to travel? You must have seen so much. Ursula, maybe you should excuse yourself and rest. You're sick. But Mom, I'm still hungry. Here, Ursula, you can have mine. It's not fair that nobody else gets bread besides Master Andreas and me. Stop! Casper, I don't think you're supposed to say it out loud. Ursula, give it back to him. I'm not gonna have people in this town saying we can't feed our goddamn guests. Yeah, Casper, I mean, look, I'm not sure Andreas is a great role model, but Casper, sometimes you gotta keep these things to yourself. Besides, we all have work to get back to, don't we? Good. Well, that was lovely. Time to get back to it, Andreas. We'll see you and your boy later. Apologies, Peter. We don't mean to overstay our welcome. It's alright, Andreas. He's just in a bad mood. It was lovely to see you again. Yes, thank you for coming, Andreas. Will you be staying for St. John's Eve? I think so. Good. Hopefully we'll see you later. Till then. Yikes. I wish I'd got that first thought that I missed, but it sort of took a while to pop up. Alright, well, let's go back to the inn. I think we've made our way pretty well around town, I'd have to say. And we found that things definitely aren't better than last time. In fact, they're worse. Pretty significantly worse, to be honest. Both sort of generally for the town, and also for us personally. The sin of Saul! The sin of Saul! You're still here? First monarch of Israel. According to the Old Testament, Saul was divinely rejected from the kingship after disobeying the prophet Samuel's instructions. Yikes. Master, did you hear that? It sounded like someone crying out. I think it's Sister Amelie. She's a mystic. She may be having one of her visions. Does it have any bearing on what's about to happen? Sister Amelie, are you alright? Philistines, this is the hand of God. Compline. Monastic hour, 8 p.m. Great. Sister, is something happening at Compline? Compline right now. Uh-oh. No! Oh, great. Sister? Sister Amelie? We're gonna have another murder? You're the artist, Andreas. You remember me? Yes. You were here when the Baron was killed. You've changed. In more ways than one. The complexities and difficulties of the outside world are why I'm glad to be in here. Are you? You seem to be having a tough time. I can see and hear the world spinning around me, but I am not part of it. This cell gives me the peace and isolation I need to feel God's presence. And in the stillness of this storm of the world, a storm sometimes rouses in my soul. It wasn't good last time this happened. I wish Father Thomas were here. Would you like Casper to go get him? If he could, yes. His house is just around the corner. Casper, run and get Father Thomas. Yes, Master Andreas. Your son? Not quite. Oh my. This is very... These are all giving something away. My apprentice, we know that. My apprentice, but I think of him like a son. Oh my. Okay, how paternal. Or I have no son, my wife and I. I mean, we know our wife and I don't get along. Are we incapable of having kids? Is one of us infertile? Or are we just not getting together because we hate each other? Like, what's happening here? I mean, I think 2 is kind of sweet. My apprentice, but I think of him like a son. He seems eager to please you. Yeah, I'm trying to... You know, Andreas, he's gotten a little grumpy in his old age, so I'm trying to treat Casper well. He's quite enthusiastic, yes. I have little knowledge of the workings of masters and apprentices. My world is one of spirit, decoupled from the march of life and death. I see and hear your world turning from this little window. They are mercifully small glimpses. Mercifully small. This cell allows me to contemplate mysteries without the noise of the outside world polluting my thoughts. I mean, the outside world is definitely tough, but I don't think I'd want to be locked in a cell either. Your world is the world of normal lives and normal thoughts. It can be difficult to hear the divine, much less make sense of it. I have no will to be part of that world. I strive to have no will at all, but to subordinate myself to the will of God. And I guess this is being a monk or a nun in its truest form, truly trying to separate yourself from the world and attend only to your spiritual life. When my will is his will, he graces me with visions, confusing though they may be. Surely it could be interpreted with scripture. Few things are certain in this world. Scripture is a guide and an aid, not a key to unlock all the mysteries of heaven and earth. I have faith that what he wants to be revealed, will be revealed in time. Until then, my responsibility is to contemplate those revelations and seek counsel in Father Thomas. Oh my god, I didn't think of that. Sister, is that hole in the ground your grave? Yes. I dug it before Father Thomas read me my funeral rites, before I was enclosed here. I dig a little more in it each day. Jesus. That is morbid. Most people find it shocking, but this is my devotion, my vocation. Once someone finds their calling, they must answer it fully. I'm not sure if Andreas has found his calling. What if the calling is wrong? I wish I could give a helpful answer, but I don't know. I felt this was my calling even before I could admit it to myself. Is your calling in question, Andreas? Is your life? Both, I think. I've lost my love. My love for art, love for family, love for anything. Yeah, I'm getting that vibe. It's interesting, then, that, the only thought left in your head is from Beatrice, who, you know, of the different characters we had, sort of represented compassion and empathy. She's the only one left. Our sort of, you know, humor, our reason, that seems to be gone. The last 7 years have been hard. It was all too much for me. Don't lose hope, Andreas. This is interesting. I mean, Andreas was already a formed character previously, but I like that we've gotten some legitimate and serious development in these 7 years, and not necessarily positive development for Andreas. The human heart is no small thing. It can hold so much. Augustine? Andreas, thank you for sending Casper. It seemed prudent. Are you alright, Sister Amelie? Yes, Father. I may have had another vision. I remember little of it. Master Mahler and his apprentice heard nothing specific. That is unfortunate, but I'm glad you're alright. Andreas, Casper, could you excuse us? We appreciate your help, but I must tend to her now in the church. Of course, Father. Good evening. God bless you both. Master Andreas, I'm confused. What did all that mean? I'm not sure, but the last time I heard Sister Amelie have a vision, it was right before the Baron was murdered. Yeah. What? Do you think... Could Sister Amelie be receiving warnings? It's possible. John received his revelation of Apocalypse on Patmos. It was a vision of Judgment Day. But then again, St. Hildegard received many wondrous visions, none of them prophetic. As Sister Amelie herself said, mystical visions can be difficult to understand. Yeah, but the last one did not bode well for anything. I guess so. I can't understand any of this. And, I mean, this does also remind me that last time we were at the Abbey, well, not only was the abbot mad with us, but we got left a note that said to us, don't come back. And yet we are back. Come, Casper, let's retire for the evening. Yeah, let's go back to the inn. I've had enough of all this. I'm sure we're gonna wake up to another murder tomorrow. Or something. Who knows what. Anybody awake down here? Apparently not. Alright, time to go to bed. I'm curious to see if we go to our mind palace at night. Once again, I wish I'd caught that first thought, but I just happened to miss it. Alright, well, night-night. It's getting late, I should get some rest. Now let's go to sleep. We've both got our nightcaps on. That's funny. Nope. No mind palace. No dreams that night. Interesting. Oh my. But a note left at the door. Well, I think I'm gonna pick that up next time, not to leave us on a cliffhanger, but I've already gone a bit longer than I expected. I just wanted to get through this day, which ended up taking a while, but I wanted to truly explore the town, see what had changed. So with that, we're gonna wrap this episode up. A really fascinating episode, both the end of our mystery, well, mystery remained, but the end of the murder case. We saw how all that ended with Ferenc being executed. And then a whole 7 years later, everything has changed. So, really fascinating stuff. If you guys enjoyed this one, you can leave a like. Make sure to subscribe so you can keep up with all the uploads. And I'm excited to get back to Pentiment in a short time. But with that, we'll wrap up today's video. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. And I will see you all again next time. Goodbye.